Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and a very warm welcome to Thursday's edition of the DC Universe Daily. On today's show, we're talking about the Harley Quinn problem. And I think that the Harley Quinn problem has two chapters to it. What's good enough for Henry Cavill is good enough for Margot Robbie. If it's okay to replace Henry Cavill's Superman, then it's more than okay to replace Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. This is the issue James Gunn's going to have if he doesn't replace Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Because people are going to be saying, hang on a minute, James. Margot Robbie has been part of two flops. She was part of one successful Suicide Squad movie financially, but your Suicide Squad movie flopped, James, and Birds of Prey was an absolute calamity. Even though it got 5-star reviews, I don't understand how it got that, but that just shows you what a stacked system progressive Hollywood is. The girls are running a movie. We better say it's good or else. But yeah, for me, that is the problem. For me, it's time for Margot Robbie to be replaced as Harley Quinn. James keeps on talking about a reset, a brand new universe. We still don't know if we're getting a full reboot or a partial reboot. I want a full reboot. I want the old universe burnt to the ground, I say every day. As James says, it's such a fractious environment with what went on in the past. That's the only way to deal with things. Now, in terms of Zachary Levi saying, don't believe everything you hear, one thing they don't want you to think right now is that his Shazam is being replaced, because that wouldn't be good for business for the box office of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. The box office for that film probably won't be great anyway, but they're going to pretend he still has a future for now. He may still have a future because Peter Safran is involved and he's the co-chair of DC Studios. The other kind of element of the Harley Quinn problem is we've gone from someone who's a vicious killer, who is the Joker's girlfriend, to someone who suddenly is an anti-hero who now likes some girl-on-girl action with Poison Ivy. Progressive comic book writers and, movie makers and directors like James Gunn have decided now that Harley Quinn is an anti-hero. In fact, in the first Suicide Squad movie, she is an anti-hero in that movie, but at least in that movie, she seems to get off on hurting people a little bit more. And she just does seem to be a lot meaner than she is in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. James Gunn decided to say, oh yeah, when she kills people, bright colours go through the screen. Yeah, listen, Harley Quinn is a psychotic killer. She was a psychiatrist, a criminal psychiatrist in an insane asylum who ended up becoming Harley Quinn. Now, a lot of Harley Quinn fans will say, well, the Joker manipulated her. No, she manipulated the Joker, but she's so smart, the Joker didn't even realise he was being manipulated. It's a love story. It's a toxic love story. Toxic love stories are the best love stories. They're the most intense love stories. They're the most interesting love stories to consume via storytelling. That is who Harley Quinn is. But as I say, progressives have decided that Harley Quinn now is a sweet and innocent anti-heroic lesbian. And, they've changed what she is. And that's not what she was originally. And if that's what you want, and if that's what you want from your Harley, good luck to you. I have a feeling that Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn will be a lot more of a darker character. Yes, they're going to tell a love story about her and the Joker, but I think she'll be vindictive, I think she'll be brutal, and I think she'll be a killer, because that is Harley Quinn in her purest form. You can't rewrite history in terms of Harley Quinn. And if you want to make Harley Quinn a sweet, innocent female who was seduced and manipulated by a man, then that isn't what Harley Quinn is. And you may as well just have created a brand new character. And really, the audience is already bored of Margot Robbie's interpretation of Harley Quinn, considering 2 of the 3 movies she's been in have flopped at the global box office. And so they're my issues with her. But you can't keep Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but fire Henry Cavill as Superman. So James Gunn will be waiting. How can this be a full reboot when he's already denied he's getting rid of Gal Gadot? How is that a full reboot? Everyone keeps on saying to me, Mick, this is a full reboot. How is it a full reboot? It's not a full reboot. Basically, isn't this the same premise as Justice League? Shove some bright colours in there, some fake smiles and hope for the best. I mean, the way James Gunn's selling all of this is that he wants to create something new, he wants to burn down the old, but he's also said he wants to keep what works and get rid of what doesn't. That's what he's already said. So blatantly, this isn't a full reboot. So Margot Robbie will never be replaced as Harley Quinn. Again, I would say, how can you not replace Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but replace Henry Cavill as Superman? Are we trying to say that Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is more iconic than Henry Cavill as Superman? Because that would be a blatant lie. So what's the issue here? Why can't we have a younger Harley Quinn? Why is it okay for Margot Robbie to remain in this role? Is it one rule for women and another rule for men? I don't know. You'll have to ask Mr. Gunn. Because this is the problem with his plan. Because for me, I'll be happy if he burns it all to the ground because it means everyone gets equal treatment. But this is why what he's doing isn't going to work. A full reboot in the level of talent that Gunn's got would actually work. Just start again, mold your own clay. He isn't going to do that, everyone. He's just going to change certain elements that he doesn't like from the old DCEU. And that's the problem. And it's not going to work. And this is my whole issue with the plan. Mick, how do you know it's not a full reboot? It's obvious. If someone says to me, well, we're going to keep what works and, improve what doesn't. He's already fired Henry Cavill. He's already fired The Rock as Black Adam. Although I don't care about The Rock being fired as Black Adam, it's the Henry Cavill situation that really triggers me and triggers many millions of DC fans around the world. Because we're asking, why are you doing this? Have you fired him because you genuinely don't rate him as Superman, because you genuinely want a younger Superman? Do you want a Latino Superman? Do you want a black Superman? Do you want to do the son of Superman? Do you want to do John Kent? What are you doing? Well, here's the thing. We don't know. Basically, once he announces his casting, then everyone can judge what he's doing a lot more than we can do right now, because all he's giving us right now is hot air. He's also said that he wants more connection between DC Comics and DC Studios. Basically, he's saying in the past, this wasn't a thing. And he's right. And it wasn't. And he's right to try and improve that connection between the comics and the films. That's a good idea. I support that, as long as it's not just a bunch of bluster and hot air. And you never know with these people. Again, we'll have to wait and see to see if he means what he says. But what I'm saying to you is, if you're expecting a full reboot, if you're going around on social media going, it's a full reboot, it's not. Not if he's not getting rid of Gal, not if he's not getting rid of Zachary Levi, not if he's keeping some things and getting rid of others. And this is where his plan falls flat on its face. Because close your eyes and think about this. How can you even have a new Superman? Think about this. How does this even work? How do you have a new Superman, but not a new Wonder Woman? How do you have a new Superman, but not a new Shazam? How is that even going to work? So, logic would come in and kick me in the teeth and say, Mick, it's a full reboot. It has to be a full reboot, right? There's hints about Momoa playing Lobo and not Aquaman. So it kind of makes sense, right? And hey, if it's a full reboot, I'll stand corrected and I won't delete this video. I'll say I was wrong. I want to be wrong. I want this to be a full reboot. It's the best thing. Because no matter if you're a Snyder fan or a DCEU fan in general, you must concede, as we've mentioned many times on this channel, that this regime, the old DCEU, hasn't brought home the bacon. I've heard people say, I don't care about the box office, I just want everything to stay the same. Well, I'm sorry, you know, no one's going to keep things the way they are because it upsets you. The point is, we all know, change is needed. Change is needed. How do you bring the general audience in? How do you get people interested? Again, people were not interested to see Black Adam. Will people be interested to see Shazam, The Flash, Blue Beetle, a character they've never heard of? Maybe Xolo, you know, being from Cobra Kai and playing Blue Beetle could help that movie. I don't know. But apart from that, who's going to give a shit about Blue Beetle? The Flash movie has got so much controversy kind of attached to it. And then you've got Amber Heard as Mira in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Problems after problems after problems. So if James Gunn is saying this is just too, as he says, it's fractious. So the idea of getting rid of all of it and starting again absolutely is the right decision as a business. But here's the thing. I don't believe this is what he's going to do unless he allows these existing actors to play new characters, which may be what he's planning when he says keeping what works. I don't understand what actually works. And this is interesting. Imagine if Peter Safran's Shazam actors remain. Imagine if James Gunn's Suicide Squad actors remain. That would be very arrogant because basically that's James Gunn is blatantly saying that actually mine and Peter's stuff already worked, so we're not getting rid of it. And it didn't. Shazam barely made any money. His Suicide Squad movie, for one reason or another, flopped. But you're going to keep them. I'm not saying that's what he's doing. It's very unclear because he's not being consistent with any context in what he's actually planning. And he's doing this on purpose. He wants to keep the conversation going, of course. But there are 4 movies. The stocks at Warner Brothers Discovery continue to plummet since last week's announcement from James Gunn that Henry Cavill is being replaced as Superman. This isn't working out well, even as far to the point where they actually could backtrack on the replacement of Henry Cavill as Superman. Watch this space for that. That could, maybe not, I'm not saying definitely will, but I think there's an opportunity if you keep on making a fuss. That's why he responded with that thread the other day. They're getting nervous and he wanted to make it clear they're not going to change their plans just because a bunch of people are upset. Well, that's up to him. You know, I hope what you're doing is going to work. I hope you're doing a full reboot because people are still going to shout at you and call you names. But at least if you're starting again and you're moulding the clay again, that's at least something new. And something that doesn't have, you know, the old failures there. But if you keep some and getting rid of others, what a mess that should be. And I don't think Margot Robbie has any right to continue to play Harley Quinn. I don't see what's better about Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn than Henry Cavill's Superman. Why does she get to stay while Henry has to go? It doesn't matter. There's no logic to it. And again, we don't know what he's planning here. We'll have to wait and see. But if he's keeping some and not the others, that's not going to work. I won't be happy with it. I want a full reboot. That's the only fair way to do this. This is the only thing that has any logic in terms of business sense. And to keep some things and get rid of others basically screams Justice League and the Flash movie to me. Walter Hamada was going to do a multiverse strategy. Basically, getting rid of Batfleck and Cavill as Superman and keeping the rest. And adding Sasha Calle and Leslie Grace as Supergirl and Batgirl. That was the plan. Justice League was just retooling what Zack had already did. So if he's getting rid of some and keeping the others, the DC Universe from James Gunn and Peter Safran is basically just another Justice League. It's as simple as that. I want to know what you have to say about what we've been talking about on today's DC Universe Daily. Because I think, you know, it's obvious in January we're going to hear more news and we're going to know a little bit more, if not a lot more, about what James Gunn and Peter Safran are planning here. But definitely, if it's not a full reboot, we are looking at Justice League all over again. This has been the DC Universe Daily here on Movies TV Mad with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.